EA has announced that Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on the way, and this is something that's been rumored for a very long time. And when the rumors first came out, they were tied to the Switch. That we had first found out that this project was in the works because we heard that a Switch version was in the works. Well, now that the project is officially announced, there is no Switch version, or EA's pretending there's no Switch version, and they'll release it later because that's what a lot of companies do. So we don't really know what the situation is here. All we know for sure right now is that there is no officially announced Switch version. So people want to know, is this game coming to Switch? Eurogamer talked to Mac Walters, who's Mass Effect's longtime writer, producer, and project director. And he said this, quote, "Personally, I'd love it. But ultimately, I think we had a path set, and it was like, let's finish that, then let's let's see sort of where we're at," end quote. So he's saying the other versions were in the works first. They want to get those wrapped up, and then they'll see what they do, which is something we hear a lot of companies say, or we used to hear a lot of companies say like a year or a year and a half ago. Now companies approach Switch with the other platforms, but it's certainly doable, obviously. Mass Effect 3 was on the Wii U in one of EA's worst decisions ever. I still don't understand why they did that. They put out Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U at the same time they put out the Mass Effect trilogy on other systems for the same price. So on Wii U, you could buy just Mass Effect 3, and at that point, Nintendo players had no point of contact for Mass Effect, so they just dump you into the third game with the pretend, like, questions section in the beginning to supposedly make up for the first two games that you didn't play. It'd be like, here, make a decision here, make a decision there. Okay, now you're all caught up, which is a bunch of bull. But yeah, they put the third one out on the Wii U, and it didn't sell well because people didn't know the story from the first two games. And why would they spend $60 on one Mass Effect game when they could spend $60 and get all three of them? So we're still waiting. It would be nice if we got it. I don't know. EA has certainly stepped up their Switch support, and they have more Switch games coming out later this year. But we'll have to see what happens. By the way, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is just the 3 games packaged again. It's not a remake; it's a remaster. So you'll get higher resolutions and better textures and AI enhanced visuals. Yeah, it will be nice because the Switch or Nintendo platforms haven't had the Mass Effect trilogy at all. All we had is Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U. Entropy says, well, there's always a possibility for a cloud version or just release the original trilogy on the Switch or both. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a cloud version. They could do, there's no problem with the Switch running those games at all. They just have to handle it differently because they originally developed them for Xbox One and PS4. So, like the producers said, they probably want to finish up that stuff, and then they can consider doing that other stuff. I have no doubt that the trilogy would sell really good on the Switch because, again, if you're a Nintendo only player, then you haven't really had anything from these games, and you don't want to start with 3. And as long as they price it the same as the other versions, then yeah, I think it'd do really well. Thanks so much for checking out this highlight to the Go Nintendo podcast. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can check out the description below and subscribe to this channel for more podcast highlights.